Hey everyone, how's it going? To this day, aside from limited time events, it is extremely difficult to be able to, in any game, use a Celebi. And thus, it won't surprise you that this is one of the first times I'm using a Celebi in battle whatsoever. And what a better way to use Celebi than to do another one of my Pokemon Gold and Silver speed-ish runs. Looking at the standings right now, we have Mewtwo in a big lead, followed by Lugia, and then the rest of the legendaries all clumped together. Is Celebi going to be closer to the bulk? Maybe Lugia? Could it even threaten Mewtwo? I'm not so sure. There are a couple really cool things that are working for Celebi though. Celebi has 100 base stats in literally everything, which does give it a bit of a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none vibe, but it's still good at everything. Another huge advantage Celebi has is the fact that it's in the medium-slow level-up group, the same group that the starting Pokemon are in. While at high levels, this is the second slowest group, throughout most of the game, this is actually one of the fastest groups to level up, specifically right at the beginning of the game. Sounds like an amazing Pokemon, right? Well, let's talk about its moveset. In short, it's awful, like really awful. I mean, via level up, it gets 2 attacking moves that are useful, Ancient Power and Confusion. That's it. No Absorb, Mega Drain, no grass moves whatsoever, at least not until we beat Claire. So that's going to be a real issue, and while all the TMs I get look really cool, if you look closer, well, not literally, but you know what I mean, most of these TMs are either support moves or unavailable until Kanto, which is like the end of the game. In other words, if this goes very badly, you know why. Falconer, however, went really well, and being in the medium-slow group, I mean, there's no other way I'd be at level 13, and so even though I theoretically have a bad matchup, I level up so darn quickly. Now you might wonder why I'm high level anyway. I don't need to do anything before I battle Falconer. The Sprout Tower is optional. This is a good time, in case you're new, to go over some of the rules. I mean, you probably know, just use Celebi in battle. We can have other Pokemon for HMs. That's pretty standard in these videos. Special for Gold and Silver is that I'm forced to do the Sprout Tower, just because without Flash, navigating is really terrible. And the second rule is to keep these runs a little bit more consistent, I banned Hidden Power. So if you're wondering why that's not going to get used, there you go. Otherwise, it's just your classic J-Rose itemless speedrun. And like always, we put speed in big air quotes. Now, a bad sign about this run is I was legitimately worried about Bugsy, but I am Grass Psychic. Fury Cutter would do a lot of damage. So I battle Rival 2 first, just to gain a little bit more experience. Now at level 20, we do get Ancient Power, and that would obliterate Bugsy Scyther. Unfortunately, if we go the fastest way possible, we don't quite hit level 20, even after knocking out Metapod. But turns out, even with 2 Fury Cutters hitting, even without full HP, we actually live on just a sliver of health, and then Kakuna came out. So I was really hoping the Ancient Power would one-shot Scyther, but I didn't slow down. I still went the fastest route, and I won nonetheless. This is actually a very good sign. The fact that Celebi, I know Fury Cutter's only 10 base power, Scyther's fairly strong, it was double super effective. I know we talk about Jack of all trades, master of none, but Celebi's bulk really helped it out there. And while Celebi's typing didn't help it versus Bugsy, compared to some of the legendary birds, I think it will help versus Whitney. She leads with Clefairy, and we get a Glare via Metronome, which is just truly abysmal. Of all the moves, right? So I'm paralyzed, and I go for Leech Seed, it misses. Clearly I've lost, but Rollout misses, I hit with Confusion. Stomp, I'm fully paralyzed. There's no way I win this battle, right? Rollout hits once, I go for Leech Seed, just because why the heck not? And then I go for Confusion, and I get a crit, and oh my! Now that is some damage. I cannot believe how much damage, to be perfectly honest with you. And so we have 3 battles, well, I guess 4 battles if we include Rival 2, 4 victories, and that had some of the worst luck I've gotten in a very long time. And yet, sure, the crit really made up for it. But, I mean, Celebi might be deserving of a little more credit than I was giving it. I don't know yet. Morty also has a pretty good matchup against Celebi, even though we have Confusion, so maybe I shouldn't celebrate just yet. I'm hoping Confusion does enough to Morty. We're gonna use Confusion against Ghastly, and then against Haunter, and then against Gengar. Because it might put me to sleep, I'm gonna go for Safeguard, but I misclick and go for Ancient Power, and then it misses with Hypnosis. Confusion is definitely gonna two-shot it. It may have one-shot, I don't know, but yeah, once again, a mistake. I meant to go for Safeguard, and it did go for Hypnosis, so it was a correct prediction, but we win nonetheless. We get a brief reprieve from gym leaders that could potentially be really bad. Chuck should be fine. Primeape can't do anything to me, and it's going to be a two-shot. That's okay. I have Shadow Ball from Morty. That's like one of the only attacks this thing learns. And then 2 Confusions. Once again, it went for Hypnosis. Probably should have gone for Safeguard there, but that's okay. We are 5 for 5 in gym battles, but I do anticipate some issues coming up ahead. Jasmine, I have no real good move to use. I mean, Mud Slap, but like, come on. Even with Price, I mean, if I had grass moves, Price would be easy. Without them, Price could be kind of difficult. There is still the Team Rocket section I can do to level up, but we're not going to be substantially higher level than we are right now. So Price always leads with Seal. We're just going to go for Confusion. Icy Wind somehow doesn't get a speed drop. I forgot that's not always a thing. Now I go for Ancient Power. I hope for the Omni boost. I'll tell you what that means in a second, but I don't get it. 2 Ancient Powers knock it out, but look how much damage it did to me. All Piloswine has to do is go for Blizzard and we're done, but inexplicably it goes for Mist after I hit it with Confusion. I go for Confusion again, and Blizzard misses, but Hyper Potion, so don't celebrate yet, me in the video. Now I go for Confusion, Blizzard hits, and I tank it? What? Oh my, I guess I really... First of all, Piloswine's special attack is pretty bad, but like, I can't believe we had basically no HP left. I am really underrating how bulky 100 base special defense and base HP is. Celebi has been fantastic, but all that bulk in the world isn't necessarily going to help damage Jasmine. However, I am going to avoid getting paralyzed by keeping Safeguard. Thank you, other legendary runs, for teaching me about doing this. I then go for Ancient Power, and that's the Omni boost. Boost in everything, and then I get a second Omni boost. Now, I don't know what happens if I don't get those 2 boosts in everything. I cannot pretend to tell you how this battle would have gone. Probably not well. Each Omni boost is 10%. So it's not crazy unlikely, but like, come on. That really makes up for some of the bad luck we've gotten earlier in the run. And that is 7 gym leaders down, 1 more to go, and we have a lot of Team Rocket members to fight. This is actually going way better than I ever could have hoped. But now it's time for Claire. The Dragonair like to paralyze, so Safeguard. There's Thunder Wave. I go for Confusion and Dragon Breath. 2 things there. Dragon Breath can paralyze, and it's a 2-shot. And we level up. This is incredible because now, yes, we definitely 2-shot. Ice Beam can't freeze. I don't see that the Safeguard is down, and we get the 1 in 4 Thunder Wave miss. That's pretty clutch. But then against Kingdra, oh no. That was quite a critical hit. It's not looking good. Sure, it might have been a 3-shot, but she's got a Hyper Potion. There's no way we win. We confuse it. Maybe it'll hit itself in Confusion. No luck. What? What is going on here? How little? I can't. What? That did 30 damage. 30 damage. Oh, wow. So I guess I didn't realize I was using Mewtwo mixed with Shuckle. Like, this is insane. First Piloswine, now Kingdra. 8 for 8. What is going to stop this Celebi? Well, one possible obstacle could be the Elite Four. I mean, I think Bruno and Koga should be fine. Will with Shadow Ball also won't be too big a problem, maybe, probably. But Karen being an entirely Dark-type trainer, that's something I'm not exactly sure how we're going to deal with. So far, we haven't lost a single time. Is our streak going to come to an end? Or are we going to crush the Elite Four and give Mewtwo a run for its money? Let's find out. Against Will, I have Shadow Ball. It's very good we can learn it, and the fact that Celebi is base 100 attack, even though you typically would think of it as a special attacker, I mean, it means that it's one-shotting every single one of Will's Pokemon so far. Now, Perish Song would be great, but I don't have enough move slots. Executor, it might not. Okay, it doesn't. Reflect kind of sucks, but I don't really think Slowbro can do anything terrible to me. It's more that this is just going to take a while to knock it out. And yeah, it's going to take 4 hits after that curse. Now I'm paralyzed, fully paralyzed. I mean, that was tedious and all, but as I predicted, this battle went pretty well. Against Koga, I am weak to Poison type, so I have to make sure I KO quickly, because if I don't, well, I potentially could get hit by some Sludge Bombs, and things could go really badly. Thankfully, against Ariados, we do one-shot, and then comes out the Venomoth, and we won. Nope, we don't. Gust is fine. Perfect. Next comes out Fortress. It has Explosion, so I try for the Omniboost. It doesn't do anything. I mean, Fortress is more of a physically attacking Pokemon, but even with the 1 Ancient Power, it's a 4-hit KO. It never goes for Explosion. Muck gets confused, which is really good, because Muck can use Minimize, and now all I gotta worry about is Crobat. I go for Confusion. It goes for Toxic and misses. Thankfully, no double team here, and even though Crobat is speedy, we are speedier, and we've made it to Bruno. So I don't even need to heal before Bruno. I mean, I should probably, but I don't really need to, because Bruno's going to be probably, well, I think I'll one-shot every Pokemon. I wish I had Psychic, though. That would make this way easier. Confusion one-shots Hitmontop, although the crit may matter? Hitmonchan? Okay, probably did matter. They do have bulky special defense, so it's going to take a couple hits. Machamp, we get the Confusion. Rock Slide, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Now it's just about knocking out all the Pokemon, and we all knew it was going to come down to this. Karen. How are we going to deal with Karen? Her Umbreon is so trolly. This is an instance where rather than having Safeguard, I'd want the move Mist. Mist doesn't allow my stats to be dropped, and losing accuracy is really one of the big reasons Karen can be, in many runs, so devastating. For me, probably the more devastating thing is, what are we even gonna do? So the only move I have that deals neutral damage is Ancient Power, and like, yeah, that face says it all. That is the face of someone who is not impressed at how much damage. I mean, I get by Umbreon, which is pretty cool, and then I miss against Murkrow, and yeah, Murkrow does a little bit more damage than you think. So our streak comes to an end, and what an end it came to, because not only did we lose to Karen, but I really need to make some major adjustments, because this is not a matchup right now we are ever going to win. Now, as I change my strategies, I'm just going to fast forward to the Karen parts, but you should know if you're new, in my quote-unquote speedruns, I'm not allowed to save between Elite Four members. Call it the Pokemon Stadium rule. It's just something I've always played with, and I enjoy it. Makes these battles a lot more fulfilling. Gotta have some consistency. Speaking of that, I'm hoping Return will two-shot Umbreon, and it comes close, but not quite. There are 4 easily accessible rare candies, and I've already used them. Thankfully, we only get hit by 1 Sand Attack, and Ancient Power does one-shot Murkrow. The sad thing is it does not one-shot Houndoom, and so Flamethrower, it doesn't knock me out, but the burn will knock me out, and then I get a miss anyway. This was a disappointing result, but there were some encouraging signs. If we could two-shot Umbreon, if we could one-shot Houndoom, I think this battle is an auto win and we make it to Lance, but we're going to need to make some adjustments to be able to do that. One thing I can do now that I have a lot of money is to go to the mart in Goldenrod and buy vitamins. I'm going to buy 5 calcium and 4 protein. In an ideal world, I would just buy 10 protein, but until I think Gen 9, you can only max out your stats so much with vitamins. And I mean, truth be told, we have used Celebi more as a special attacker, but for the next 2 trainers, I actually think Celebi's physical attack is what's going to set it apart. All right, so this is now round 3 versus Karen. So we're going to go for Return, and it's still not two-shotting. We get hit with 2 Sand Attacks, and I stand corrected. It can two-shot. Well, that's nice, but we have very little accuracy. Still, we one-shot Murkrow with Ancient Power. And we don't one-shot Houndoom, but we get the Omni Boost. And then we hit again, which is probably the luckier of the things that we haven't missed yet. And with the Omni Boost, we one-shot Vileplume, and we miss versus Gengar, which sucks. But one miss? Holy mackerel. That is some crazy good luck. And I'd be a lot more excited. Oh my god, I forgot to use the rare candies. I'm really excited. Oh my god, can you imagine if that's why it did so little to Houndoom. I couldn't figure out, I'm like, but it didn't do that much. But that was why I was 4 levels under-leveled. Holy moly. Well, if we do lose to Lance, good strat for Karen number 4. Lance 1, let's go. So I'm going to go for Confusion. It's always going to go for Rain Dance. It's just how Gyarados works. Then I go for Ancient Power. Okay, cool. Dragonite number 1, I'm going to go for Safeguard. Thunder Wave, knew it. Now I'm going to go for Ancient Power. No Omni Boost, Blizzard can't freeze, fine. Ancient Power, that's 1 Dragonite. Aerodactyl, let's go for Confusion. No, Wing Attack, that was fine. And Ancient Power. All right, so I see an issue here. Ancient Power is double super effective against Charizard, so we're going to knock it out. But now comes out, oh, the level 50. And so I shouldn't have gone for Safeguard. I'll go for Ancient Power, but it's too little too late. It would be a 3-shot anyway. And this is the Outrage Dragonite. This is the last Dragonite. So Lance is using it. I mean, smart by Lance. Really messed me up. But we ran out of Ancient Powers too fast. I wish I'd thought of this when I got the vitamins, because now I have to backtrack again. But I can get the Mystery Berry, which is the old version of the Lepa Berry. So if I hold that during Lance's fight, I can't use the Heartstone, which I'm also going to get, but I can use 11 Ancient Powers, which should be enough if I can use 11 Ancient Powers before I faint. The bigger question I have is at level 56, is Karen consistent? Umbreon misses with Sand Attack, which is great, and Return is easily 2-shotting. The question now I have after I one-shot the Murkrow, do I one-shot the Houndoom? Close. Close. But I don't think I need the Omni Boost. Oh, so it can one-shot. So it's just a range, maybe an unfavorable one. Do we one-shot Vileplume? No. That kind of sucks, but it's fine. Even if it were to paralyze us, we do one-shot Gengar, and it doesn't have Shadow Ball. So it looks like Karen has become consistent. So now we just kind of have to worry about Lance. And I don't need to show you guys healing. Let's just skip ahead to the battle. So my thinking versus Lance is a little different. I'm going to try the same strategies I used versus Jasmine. Now that I have all these Ancient Powers, 10% roll probably ensures victory here. Safeguard, so I just need 1 Omniboost. That's all I'm looking for. Not getting it so far. That's another one, so I'm 0 for 4. Aerodactyl, 0 for 5. And Wing Attack, 0 for 6. Well, I have the Mystery Berry. It gives me 5 power points. 0 for 7? 0 for 8, and this is when I needed it. And unfortunately, without the Omni Boost, we don't 2-shot Dragonite. Now, the truth of the matter is, statistically, I probably can expect in maybe 1 or 2 more battles, 1 Omni Boost before Dragonite. It's not that unreasonable. It's a 10% chance, and we use 8. So I should be good. It might just take 1 or 2 more battles versus Lance. So this is now my 3rd battle versus Lance. We're going to keep the same strat as before. 0 for 1, Rain Dance. 0 for 2. Come on. We're going to have to go for Safeguard. You know. All right, we're 0 for 3. Blizzard hits. Crits. Of course it does. That's probably game, even if we get the Omni Boost. Great. 0 for 4. And another crit. Well, guess I'm glad I didn't get the Omni Boost there. That really sucked. By the way, the chance of getting 2 crits against me, way less than 10%. All right, let's try again. Wait, this isn't Lance. Why am I showing a Koga battle? Koga's really easy. What the heck could possibly happen in this battle? We one-shot each of the first 2 Pokemon. It's a 4-shot against Fortress. Didn't go for Explosion. Like, what is the issue here? Muck? Okay, we don't one-shot. Oh, Minimize? Oh, Sludge Bomb? Oh, another Sludge Bomb? Oh, Poison? Oh, yeah, that can happen. And you know what else could happen? Another fight against Lance without an Omni Boost. I mean, you're going to see here. 0 for 2. What is this? Like 0 for, what, 12 at this point? It's ridiculous. How can I not get a single Omni Boost? Did I use them all up versus Jasmine? It's just really frustrating. I mean, at this point, I should have just gotten one, and that's all I'm asking for. Ooh, nice crit there. That might help. But like, without the Omni Boost, what are we really going to do here, right? I mean, there's no way we can win without it. Outrage. Oh, wait, it's a 2-shot. That wasn't what happened the last time. Okay, maybe we don't need the Omni Boost. Hooray! Okay. I want to point out crits are a 1 in 12 chance, while an Omni Boost is 1 in 10. So like, I don't know, whatever. It worked. And we probably got a favorable range on the 50 Dragonite. So silly. But yeah, now we make it to Kanto, and that's really cool, because we have talked about the fact that in Kanto, there are some really good TMs. And so I don't really need to talk or even think about the gym leaders here. It's more thinking about how exactly are we going to tackle blue and then red? What moves are we going to use? Because as Freezeye says, and I don't know if Freezeye has ever said this specifically about Celebi, but it's true in this context, Celebi is going to suffer from 4 move slot syndrome. And the fact there is no move relearner in Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal is also going to hurt it, because Leech Seed may have been useful versus Snorlax. But I digress. Assuming it were a thing just for the moment, there are lots of moves that Celebi can learn that, if I were to pair 4 of them together, could easily, at a very low level, take down each and every one of Red's Pokemon. The problem is, I can only have 4 of them at any given time, and I'm not sure if any given 4 at one time can knock out all of Red's Pokemon. That's kind of the beauty of a solo run. And it's kind of funny, since Celebi epitomizes what the solo run is about. In a solo run, the Pokemon kind of has to be a jack of all trades, and it's hard to really be a master of one thing, because you kind of have to be good at everything in case a specific Pokemon shuts you down. And so in that sense, a Celebi solo run is kind of the purest form of a solo run. And I think I've talked long enough that we've gotten through all the Kanto gyms, so let's talk about the only gym leader that's worth talking about, Blue. Blue leads with Pidgeot, not the best Pokemon for a Celebi, but you'll see I'm at level 64. We still have Ancient Power. It actually mirror moves Ancient Power. I've gotten the leftovers from the Celadon garbage can, and I still have Shadow Ball. So I have largely the same moveset as before, just Return has been deleted, and I've replaced Confusion with Psychic, although I'll mention that just after this battle. I'm going to go for Ancient Power against Arcanine. Flamethrower does a lot, but we are able to knock it out. We're out of Ancient Powers. For Alakazam, though, we outspeed. Shadow Ball knocks it out. Pretty good. And now all we have to worry about is Gyarados. Psychic is pretty good, and it's going to be a 2-shot. That's fine. That works. And right on, I have Giga Drain, and pretty easy battle. Although as difficult as Blue can be, Red is the one I need to worry about. Just kind of thinking off the cuff here, my moveset handles 5 of the 6 Pokemon really well, but 5 isn't 6. I mean, duh. But all that needs to happen is for one of the 6 Pokemon to just have a really good matchup versus your solo Pokemon, and it's over. It's part of why Gold and Silver runs are so difficult. Oh, also that thing I was supposed to mention, you may have noticed I actually deleted Confusion for Return. That was kind of me thinking a little bit ahead, but it didn't really matter since I was going to get Psychic anyway, and you can get infinite returns, so I don't think that was terribly interesting. So let's get to something substantially more interesting, the final battle versus Red. Alright, so Celebi can't learn Earthquake, but we do have Speed, and we nearly one-shot with Psychic. Now, I think I have to reset if it uses Charm, because I'm a mixed attacker here. So let's hope it goes for Thunder or something, or we one-shot. Great. Charizard, Ancient Power. It doesn't one-shot. That sucks. And it won't heal Charizard because Charizard isn't the highest level Pokemon. So that's kind of nice. We don't have to worry about that. It's not like Steven Stone. Espeon is next. I'm going to go for Shadow Ball. Interesting. And Reflect is really bad. So that's 3 Pokemon. But this is the one I didn't know. And yeah, even with that special defense drop. Yeah. Ooh, nice crit. But yeah. Yeah. I don't really know what I'm going to do versus Snorlax. I mean, the reason I'm rebattling red is just to kind of see if there are some ranges, if anything goes a little different. Maybe I'll get the Omni boost, but oftentimes the best way to think about a problem, rather than just stare at a blank screen, is to do the battle a few times, even if you know it's probably hopeless. Maybe Giga Drain there, a little more HP, maybe that will help, right? I'm thinking I might need the Omni boost, which, as we saw with Lance, is not something you want to rely on. And yeah, see, I don't have Safeguard anymore, hashtag only 4 move slots, and yeah, I am not making a lot of progress versus Snorlax. I have a bunch of TMs here, so it doesn't matter how many times I lose to red. These are measured by in-game time, not real time, because then I could just do everything ahead in a simulator and do one perfect run, which might be cool for some people, but for me, part of the fun of doing these runs is figuring this stuff out as I play. Each time I would have to leave the cave, I'm gonna lose time, and that's a big reason why in-game time even still works in runs like these, because having to leave and come up with new strategies means you can't just use any old simple strategy and win, and clearly in this case, I can't just use any old strategy and win. All I can do is try different combinations of moves, see if anything works. So my next idea is to use Toxic. It's not the best strategy to use, there's a couple problems with it. One of them is that against Espeon, well, let me get there first. Okay, against Espeon, we're not going to be able to use Shadow Ball. I can try and gain HP back with lefties and Giga Drain, but Psychic still does some decent damage. Thankfully, a 3-shot is enough. Now against Snorlax, I can go for Toxic, but it does have Rest. So there is this real fear that if I don't manipulate, Omni Boost, if I don't manipulate its health properly, it may just rest away and I lose all this progress. And as it's paralyzed me, that's what's gonna happen here. Oh, we still outspeed. Atta B Celebi. But we're not gonna outspeed Venusaur. I'm just gonna go for Psychic. We should easily one-shot. And now, I think we use Giga Drain with an Omni Boost, we win. Blizzard? Let's... No! No! Are you... Oh, come on. 2 70% Blizzards, and I couldn't hit Giga Drain. If I hit, we would have won, even if it didn't one-shot. We would have gained enough HP back. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, and I got the Omni Boost too, which is pretty lucky. Ah, God. Unfortunately, I really don't have a better strategy, at least not in terms of moveset. We get a very, very lucky Thunder, and that means we can go for Ancient Power and get the Omni Boost, and that's it. That's it. With the Omni Boost, Charizard is going to be a one-shot, meaning we're at full HP for Espeon, and then I'm going to go for Ancient Power, just try to get the Omni Boost here. Giga Drain, I'm at full HP. Now, I really wish instead of Toxic we had Safeguard, but I couldn't have possibly known, and there was other things that happened, but in future, that's probably what I'd want. We get Paralyzed, that's pretty much a given since it's 30%, but with the Omni Boost, Snorlax just can't out-damage us, and now this is pretty much the same situation as before, except with way more HP. Now I get to find out if we one-shot, and oh, look at that, it goes for Rain Dance, and I guess because it wasn't in KO range, so we gain all the HP back, and then Blizzard misses. So not only did we win, we won at full HP. Perfect. Well, I mean, listen, it took a lot of attempts versus Red, I'm not sure how many, but I never had to leave the cave, which shows how good Celebi is. And with its final time of 6'11", it turns out Celebi is not just better than most legendaries, it's better than all of them, with the sole exception being Mewtwo. I'm gonna be real with you guys, there was no reality in which I expected this. In fact, I expected Celebi to be the worst. With its moveset and the late moves, I actually did not think this thing would be very good at all. People ask me runs that surprised me the most, this one. This one surprised me a ton. And to that end, I really wonder how Mew is gonna do. The beginning, the very beginning is gonna suck, but once we get to Goldenrod, we get the 3 elemental punches, and then it's just a better Celebi. I mean, I don't have Ancient Power, but will I even need it? I really think Mew could maybe end up being, maybe not the best. Mewtwo is still better than Mew, but it might be the second best, which is kind of crazy since it wasn't amazing in Gen 1. But I'll have to do the run and tell you later. Until then, I'm going to go and do some other stuff. So thank you guys for watching. Take care.